I'm here with Orion Talmay, who seriously is rocking the podcast. Orion, tell us how you are rocking the podcast, both as a host and as a guest. Let's start with your show. Tell us all about how you're rocking the podcast as a host.
Yay! So my show is Stellar Life, and it's a play on word because my name is Orion, so Stellar works really well. And I got my life to the point where I think they're pretty stellar. I'm engaged to the man of my dream. I have a pretty good life. I'm following my passion, but I wasn't always like that. So the purpose of the podcast is to inspire and empower people to live the best life they can. And what I do is I interview any guest that I find really, really interesting. And I actually got some big names on the show. I'm only podcasting for the last 9 months, and I got people like Dr. John DeMartini from The Secret. I got Dave Asprey from Bulletproof. I got JP from, he does viral videos, ultra spiritual, and he's got millions of people that subscribe on his YouTube channel, and I managed to get him. So I have like the honor and the privilege of having conversations with really unique people about stuff that is really interesting to me, but also can make someone's life better.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about who is the target listener for the show. Who do you find your listeners to be?
Well, I think that most of my listeners are women, but some cool men are listening as well.
Yeah.
Because I do bring a lot of women's issue, like how to break through the glass ceiling, or stuff that are hormone balance for women. But I also have stuff that is very, I don't know, co-ed, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I brought a right brain expert and psychology experts, and
Cool.
yeah, so mostly women. I guess 35 to 50 are the main listeners.
Yeah, and with tell us about your core business, and is the podcast kind of a marketing tool for your business? Are the two connected? And if so, how do you leverage the podcast to grow your business?
Okay, honestly, I don't know. I don't think that I've leveraged the podcast.
Because you said, how
much.
long have you been podcasting?
9 months.
9 months. Okay, so still, 9 months, but still, like, you probably still feel like you're in the infancy, right? Like, I know for me, I got to a year, I was like, it's been a whole year, but it's only been a year, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's like, I think podcasts, like any business, takes a few years to pick up, unless, there is always the exceptions, but it takes time. It takes time to become a good interviewer, to be comfortable in your own skin. I had to overcome my fear of English being my second language, and my grammar is not perfect, and I say women instead of woman, or I forget the S's at the end, and little things like that. But what I learned is that most of our communication is nonverbal. So yes, people listen to the words, but they also listen to what goes behind the word and the intention and the energy behind it. So how am I monetizing it? I don't know. I think just associating myself with people like Dr. John DeMartini and having him on my podcast. And this is, for example, him is somebody that I was following a decade ago. And I never knew that. I'm going to have an interview with him. I'm going to have a podcast. I'm actually going to see him in person and get to have like a one-on-one conversation. So this is beneficial for me personally, for my spirit and connection. It's good for other people. And with my bigger guests, I do video interviews, and I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. And I'm sure that will, just having their names there will draw more subscribers.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying around, like, I feel it seems like a lot of the big benefits that you have from your podcast, it's not like, dollars and cents, lots of downloads, but it's this amazing personal development tool. And, we all know that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And as you're aligning yourselves with people that you really look up to, people that you've been following for a long time, like, that's only going to help lift you up more and help, grow your business more, because you'll feel like their energy will be, what do they call it? Like, contagious, their energy and their way of doing things is contagious. So that's so cool. Have you learned any, 9 months is it's a good amount of time, and a lot of people don't make it past like 7 episodes. So do you have any tips for podcasters that are just getting started with their show?
Yes. First, just start with your show. Do it. Everything else is gonna be revealed to you. You're gonna fail and you're gonna learn by trial and error. Like for example, I did a podcast contest and I spent $2,500 on that contest and I didn't get anything out of it. It was a fail. But sometimes you have to invest and you have to fail in order to move on. And the more you talk about it, the more you put it out there, the more visibility you'll have. Because I get people on Facebook that are communicating with me and they're like, oh my God, you're everywhere. Yes, because I'm posting my podcast everywhere and I'm posting it on Twitter. I will put 7 tweets about my podcast every week, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's so awesome. I mean, the first tip is my favorite. Like, just start, because you're going to fail. You're not going to be good at the beginning, but the only way you're going to get to, 9 months in, a year in, be able to list like all these amazing guests that you've connected with, these benefits, is you just have to start. Do you want to tell us a little bit about when you're a guest on shows, what types of podcasts do you want to be a guest on, and what are some of the things that you're interviewed about?
Right. So I want to be on those type of podcasts that are really fiery and juicy, and they have the intention of helping people and changing the world. Now, my expertise is in the wellness industry. I'm very good with all kinds of supplements and weight loss and mindset when it comes to fitness and nutrition. Also, my biggest passion is helping women unleash their inner superhero and find love. I have a talk about how to unleash your superhero, and I have a talk about polarity and feminine and masculine energy and how they play in our lives, and what kind of energy a woman should call on when she is with her man to help him feel like a man or to attract the man of her dreams. So all kinds of stuff like that. I love talking about that, and I love helping women feel comfortable in their own skin, feel comfortable in their sexuality and sensuality, and expressing themselves, and loving themselves and attracting love.
That's wonderful. So I hope that if you're watching this video and you feel like you're resonating with what Orion is saying, definitely reach out to her, have her on your show, listen to her podcast. Orion, how can people, contact you if they want to interview you on their show, or if they want to listen to your podcast? What's the website?
All right. So my podcast website is www.stellarlifepodcast.com, and they can contact me personally at orionsmethod.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you guys want to know, if you want to work with us to get booked for podcast interviews, you can go to interviewconnections.com. Thanks, Orion, so much for joining me. Thanks for sharing how you're rocking the podcast.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.